out here in the woods. I found all these cedar trees that appear to be planted in a square formation. Well, they have. If you look really close, there's a fence line here. All these cedars are dead. They're all very old. I guess you guys can guess what this is because you've read the title of the video. Let's take a look at what we got. I see one gravestone. This looks like a good entry point here. An old super secret graveyard here. Born 1836, died 1918. Born 1806, died 1892. (1873 to 1886). That one says 1839 to 1859. 1779 to 1855. 1815 to 1843. 1813 to 1895. This appears to be a family cemetery. I don't think this large stone here is actually a grave marker. I think it's just a stone for the family name. That's a really large stone. I think there was one more. I don't know what the date on this one was. This one doesn't have an actual stone. This one, 1939. So that's the, I think that's the newest one here, 1939. Alright guys. Actually having a little trouble determining exactly how the graves are positioned in relation to the headstones. Now I think, just by looking at the way the ground is depressed, I think that these headstones are actually at the foot of the grave. Now that would make sense because traditionally a grave is positioned, at least in the Western world, where the feet are facing east. If I dig out my compass here, that would make sense because due east is that way. The headstones are facing this way. And most of the depressions that I see are actually on the side closest to the family stone. The only one that's not like that is the one all the way on this end that doesn't actually have a stone, it just has the plaque. I think that's actually at the head of the grave. It's a very peaceful spot up here. It's actually a pretty large plot for only having 8 graves. That's not uncommon. They were probably originally planning to have more. I'd say this area is probably, from one end to the other, probably about 35 yards long. I imagine at one time this was very beautiful. And it still has a unique kind of beauty here. Just outside of the graveyard, and I noticed all these cedar trees here are planted in a row. Wondering if this used to be an old road or something. I mean, just look at it, they're all in this one straight line. Let's see where it goes. The woods open up over here. Okay. This appears to be the last 2 cedars in this line here. Aha. Here's some evidence. Old fencing. That's from right around the same time that the graveyard was fenced. So originally there was another fence line that went down through here. And where it goes from here is a mystery. Alright. Got some more fencing. Some of this fence is still up. This is very old barbed wire. You see it's even grown into that tree right there. So originally this was some sort of a long fence line. I don't know where it went to, or this was a field at one point. It looks kind of like it used to be. There's something metal over here. There's some more of the fence still standing. More of it there. And here, I don't know. Oh, here's a fence post. See, this one was sawn off at the top. Here's where the barbed wire was hand twisted. Ooh, that's old. That's very old. Another one of these metal things. This one appears to be intact. Barely. Some kind of pan. Right next to this ancient tree right here. I think it's huge. Wow. I wanted to show you guys this because this is a little piece of history here. I'm looking around, I see some areas where it looks like there's possibly some unmarked graves, but I can't be sure. With old graveyards like this, that's a pretty common thing to have unmarked graves. But anyhow, thought you guys might be interested in this. That's been my time for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, guys, thumbs up.